Hello and welcome to another episode of Mom Meets Life. I am your host, Sarah, and this is our second video recording. The first one actually worked. It uploaded to YouTube. I did some hashtags. Like I work in marketing, I should know this by now, but it's totally different when it's your own project. It makes a difference. I don't know why. But anyway, we have video recording, so that was pretty cool. So we're trying it again this week. And something new that we are trying this week because, I'm in the future now. In the year 3000. I'm having my best friend of all time join us on the podcast today. She is my first guest. It's the maiden voyage of having guests on this podcast. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little anxious. Like I could talk, her name is Heather. She's been my best friend forever since high school. And we'll get into that. But I could talk forever. When I create a podcast episode, I'll have like 3 bullet points and I just run through it and then I edit a bunch of shit out. But with a guest, I thought, oh crap, I should probably send her the topics we're going to talk about so she's prepared. But you can't really be prepared for talking to me because we're just going to roll with it. So Heather's going to join us and it's really exciting. So I hope you'll forgive me for having a little bit of a delay with this episode. Normally it's every 6 to 7 days that I upload a new one. But last week we talked about death and I talked about Cynthia and how hard that was in my life to lose her. So it was the anniversary of her death, and then it was my twins' birthday, and then it was her birthday, and then it was my twins' birthday party. So it was a very busy week. And, it's my podcast. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. So it's kind of nice to say, oh, I don't have to forgive or ask for forgiveness. I can just do what I want. But I do try to make a regular habit of, every 6 to 7 days. And this is my passion project. And I record typically when my kids aren't here, which is a certain certain amount of days each week. So next week may be a little bit delayed as well because I'm going on a work trip to San Antonio, Texas. And it's really funny because today's topic is talking about female friendships and girl groups and the dynamic of female relationships. The last time I was in San Antonio, I was working for a startup. There was this really cool, like young startup, and I got like a leadership position there. And I'm thinking, like, yes, I have made it. I'm great. This is everything I've ever wanted. And very quickly into this job, I realized one, like, it was they were trying to get funding, it was a whole thing, but my boss was crazy. Like, I don't just blame all my problems on other people, but my boss was nuts. Like, he was like, "Where is the data to support this, Sarah?" And I'm like, "I don't know." So, he brought me in as one of the leaders of the marketing team, and I had 2 girls under me. One was just delightful, great Christian girl, super sweet, nicest person I may have ever met in my life. The other girl was just the saltiest person. Like, I did that, and I went above and beyond today, and no one gave me recognition." And I'm like, okay. I wasn't gonna like cater to her bullshit, and she knew it. And it was not a good fit for me. I just despised working there. But that was the last time I was in San Antonio. And it's like if you're new at a high school and you don't have any friends and you just know like you don't belong there, this was that job. So to go from that to now be well, I'm not in San Antonio right now, but I will be, to then be going to San Antonio and like excited about it with my work people that I actually like and respect. Some of them like I adore. These are wonderful people. So I'm super excited to go to San Antonio. And it'll be just as fun as Miss Congeniality. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it takes place in San Antonio. Okay, so any updates in my life that have happened in the last week? Again, my twins had their birthday party. It was super fun. There were 7 girls total, plus my twins, so 9 total, I guess. I can do math. I'm in marketing. We had 9 girls who were all 8 to 9 years old with a sleepover, and it was chaotic. But my parents hosted it at their house. It was wonderful. But I was freaking tired come Sunday morning. So I needed a bit of rest last week, which is totally fine. I also had the guy that I talked about in a previous episode. There was a guy that like would not stop messaging. It was just I was like, dude, give me space. And he just dunk, 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 kept sending text messages. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? I had blocked him on LinkedIn because he reached out to me on LinkedIn like a real stalker. I had taken him off Facebook and I blocked his phone number. Turns out I didn't block him on Facebook, and he sent me a message, and he's like, "I just wanted to apologize if I came across too strong." Like, what the hell? And he's like, "I hope you know you're gonna find someone great." And I said, "Please do not contact me again." Weird. And at that same time, my new cameras outside, I didn't put these SD cards in to record video. It was only showing like a still picture every now and then. I do have SD cards now. I do have video, and I have mini pew pews that will pew pew when pew pews are needed. Anyway, I had to put that disclaimer out there. But in the middle of the night, I get this alert that it happened a couple hours before, and I see this person staring at my house from the sidewalk at 1 in the morning in 20-degree weather, just staring. Freaking weird, right? Like, it scared the shit out of me. So I have no idea who it was. Oh, they also had a bag in their hand. And they're just standing there, like barely any coat on in 20-degree weather, staring at my porch. So I told my friends at work, and they all call it the porch demon. So hopefully this year will be blessed and not riddled with porch demons. So here we are at the end of the week, and I get to interview my best friend. So I'm excited. Heather lives in New Mexico because she's a loser. I'm sorry if you live in New Mexico, but I'm just, I have to say this ahead of before she gets on because we're going to record with her on and she's not going to hear me say that. And she's going to listen to it later and be like, that bitch. So, Heather, New Mexico sucks. I'm just going to say it. All right, listeners. For the first time ever, I have a guest on the podcast. And as I introduced earlier, Heather doesn't know that I talked shit about her like for 20 minutes before. It's like a 5-minute intro. Anyway, this is my best friend, Heather.
And you extended it to 20 minutes just
20.
to talk shit.
20 whole minutes. You know me.
Which is
I
rude,
could-
but at the same point, I kind of understand.
So Heather and I have known each other since 2002 is when I first met Heather.
I don't remember.
She doesn't remember because I was not memorable, but she was
No,
very
because I don't
memorable.
remember anything.
So we went to the same high school, and we always had a joke that she and my ex-husband, I met them both on the same day. But Heather, I met in period 2, and my ex-husband, I met in period 3. So technically, I have known Heather longer than my
It's not
ex-husband.
technically, it's a fact. I don't remember what period 3 was. What class was that? What class did we have together?
Period 2 was chorus.
Yeah, I do have a picture with you in it that I didn't realize you were in it because I didn't know you at the time.
Yeah, she found this later, and she's like, "Hey, it's you." I'm like, "I know that's me."
Yeah.
I remember I remember a lot of stuff apparently that no one else remembers. So, yes.
I just have a horrible memory, so.
Heather and I were in chorus together, and then I went to debate class, and I met my ex-husband, and that's how that started. But Heather and I were in one class together freshman year, and then I was on home instruction on and off freshman year, sophomore year because of my endometriosis, and then our high school was very not different, but we had these like career technical
Yeah,
education.
vocational.
Yes, that's a much better way to put it. Heather, thank you for thank you
You're
for
welcome.
being proper.
I'm gonna dial off now. Dial off. I'm gonna sign off now.
Heather and I have both also had. What are you drinking? Why don't you tell our
Water.
guests? Yeah, and
Water. I don't drink.
I have not had a drink on the podcast before, but I thought today it's been a crazy day, and I was like, I'm gonna have a gin and tonic in my.
I don't know
Bowling
what you're
Green
talking about.
mug.
I have
cup.
water. Only water. I am straight edge.
Yes. So Heather's drinking wine, and I have my gin and tonic. So it's going to be a really fun episode. But Heather and I were in a vocational program, but then we had 2 journalism courses. One was like
Yeah.
actual like reporting, and that was the school newspaper called The Pursuit. And then there was desktop publishing.
Oh, wait. Really?
That
That wasn't
what it was
us,
called.
I'm guessing.
No, that's what that's what we were in, Heather.
Okay.
There were 2 things. There was
I don't remember that.
the yearbook and the
Yeah.
newspaper, but we were known. So we were part, for those of you that didn't catch it, we were in the
Like
yearbook
me.
class. The yearbook class. So historically, yearbook was like the popular kids. Like at
Was
this
it?
high school, yes. Like even
Why
yearbook
were
was
we in
popular.
it?
I don't know. That's been my question all along.
You said desktop publishing. What is desktop publishing?
Yearbook.
Oh, All right. I've never heard it referred to that.
So senior year, you're elected as some kind of editor of the yearbook. I was, of course, one of the editors in chief because why wouldn't I be? What were you?
I was student life editor, so
She
you
was
don't remember that.
student life editor, which is very
I
important.
only know that because I saw the placard recently, the yearbook.
Did you?
What did I do with that? Who the crap knows?
I have no idea. At least you didn't have to share your title with 2 other people.
No. No,
It was
I did
I
not.
loved our yearbook teacher. Trust me, if she's watching this, you were one of my favorite people in the world. But we had 3 editors in chief our senior year because we had like a certain amount of editors, and she wanted every senior to be an editor. So I had to share that with 2 other people.
Which is how I got student life editor, because where else is she going to put me?
She could have made you an editor in chief. We could have 4, 5. The whole class should have been editors in chief.
You know,
at that point.
I have looked back at the senior wills and for the yearbook class. I've looked back at my yearbook, like the things people wrote. Nobody would have made me an editor in chief. I was either called crazy, hyper, or I get things done. I don't know what those people were like. What did I do to prove people that I was getting things done? I don't know. But the majority of my high school inscriptions were, you can have all the caffeine you want. Heather, don't have the caffeine. And something about being hyper or crazy.
And when were you diagnosed as having ADHD?
ADHD, about 2 years ago.
There you
roughly.
go. But Heather did actually attend the.
I did.
Hang on, you have to say it in the most pretentious way possible.
Legally, it's the name.
Ohio State University.
Legally, it is the name because there was a lawsuit in like 1874. Okay, we're going to educate your audience.
Heather would of course know this story.
Excuse me, I'm talking now. So
There was a
lawsuit between Ohio University and Ohio State University to the state of Ohio because both of them were they were public schools and they wanted to get the money because they were both, Ohio State was an agricultural military institute. Ohio University probably was too. They were trying to sue the state because only one of those colleges could legally get the federal dollars because of being a state university. So they sued the state. Ohio State won, and they became the Ohio State University, as in they became the state university in Ohio to get the federal dollars. So I'm just saying, it's not pompous. It is a legal fact. Okay.
It sounds a little pompous, but regardless.
Well, you know what? You're just jealous.
At least it wasn't the normal college that I went to. Bowling Green. We were the Bowling Green Normal College.
What were your... Oh, really?
Back in the day.
Brown and orange.
And the ugliest brown and orange too. Like,
yeah,
look at this.
It's gross.
Who came up with that? Anyway, so Heather went to the Ohio State University. I went to Bowling Green. And then going into my junior year of college, I got married. And Heather went to Russia.
Oh, yeah, I did.
So Heather had a study abroad program, her going into junior year. And she, of all the places, I'm like, oh, you could get a Tuscany, you could get a Paris. She's like, I'm going to Siberia.
So let's go backwards. What were my majors? One of them was Russian.
And international intelligence?
No, international studies with a specialization in security and intelligence.
I was close enough. The Ohio State
International intelligence. Yeah. But the other one
Heather
was
went to
Russian.
She got to go to Russia, which is really cool. I mean, I don't know anyone else who's been to Russia other than that weird lady at the farmer's market that we met. You did. So Heather did ask.
I texted you.
She asked my permission if it's okay for her to go to Russia ahead of my wedding. And I said,
I would preface, I did not necessarily ask permission. I said, how would you feel if I got back from Russia 3 days before your wedding?
And what do you say to that as a friend? You can't be like, I would much rather you not go to Russia for my wedding.
If I remember correctly, you said, I don't like it, but I'm not going to tell you no.
I mean, at least I would.
I'm fairly certain that's what you said.
Wow, I was like a gaslighting narcissistic man back then. What the fuck? So Heather was in my wedding. And then when we graduated college, I got married halfway through college. I picked all my stuff up and I moved to Tennessee with no job, no prospects of a job. I don't know why. My ex-husband and I were like, let's move to Tennessee. So we did. And Heather,
I
where
did the same thing. I did the same thing. I graduated and I moved to Las Vegas without a job, without a place to stay. I met my roommate the day I moved in. It was one girl from college had told me, like, it was honestly between coming to Tennessee and going to Vegas. But my grandmother was like, "You have nothing holding you here." And I knew my mom was gonna be mad. But my grandmother told me, "You have nothing holding you here. Go to Vegas, do it." So I moved to Vegas and I moved in with a girl, very nice girl. It worked out very well. Could have been worse. Um, and, a lot of things happened in Vegas, but eventually I stayed there about a year and I decided I don't want to be here anymore. So I moved to Tennessee and I drove from Vegas to East Tennessee.
And what year was this that you moved to Tennessee?
2011.
And
Yeah, 2011. Because it was just over a year from
who
graduation.
did you move in with, Heather?
I don't remember. No, I moved in with Sarah, but she did blatantly, or not blatantly, she told me from the get-go, "You cannot live here for very long." I don't remember if it was you or if it was your ex, but, like, I was given guidance that I cannot stay there long term.
It was probably
Like,
me. I mean,
"Okay."
at that time, as much as I dislike my ex now, like, I
Mm,
was young and married, and there were things happening
yeah.
that were
Oh, I
fun,
get
and,
it.
having a guest there is not super fun, and that was before I had
Which
children, of
it's not
course.
like I didn't know things.
Well, of course. Heather knows everything, but I'm very
I know
appreciative.
too much.
I've had, 3 women live with me in my lifetime, me and my ex-husband, and I'm very appreciative that 1/3 of them did not, sleep with or attempt to sleep with my ex-husband, so thank you, Heather.
I never knew it was an option. I lived there for what, 3
I didn't
months,
know it
4
was an
months, something like
option for
that?
them either, but apparently I
I
was
know.
completely in the dark. So Heather joined the Air Force, and who did you meet in the Air Force, Heather?
I met a lot of people. Let's see, Billy Ray Cyrus at one point. No, I met my husband.
Woohoo!
Yes, I did.
Yes,
We met in 2013. I don't remember meeting him. As you can tell,
it's
there
like
is a
you don't remember
pattern.
meeting me.
Exactly. There is a pattern.
So when Heather joined the Air Force, she moved, and it sucked. And where did we move,
Yeah.
Heather?
Initially, Tennessee to Texas. I stayed there for a while. And then Texas back to Tennessee for a little while. And then the middle of nowhere, New Mexico,
When were you in Texas?
from 2014 to 2015.
How do I not
I was there
remember?
for tech school.
Oh.
I don't know.
When in
Um,
2014?
I was there from August of 2014 until March of 2015.
I swear when you have, like, a young child, you forget. See, that's when I started to
Yeah.
forget things because, like, there was a chunk of
Yeah.
my brain that, like, there's just nothing in my memory. Huh.
And scientifically, you have reasons. I don't have reasons for my memory loss. But yeah, I was there for tech school. So I was there for 8.5, 9 months.
And then they moved to New Mexico.
Yeah. New Mexico for 5 long years.
I also mention you're gonna see this later, but I do talk about New Mexico before you came on, so
Why
talk
would
a
you
little
do that?
because I talk shit about it,
Uh,
and it's awful.
I lived in the middle of nowhere. Um, what, 2 hours from the aliens in Roswell, 15 minutes from the state line of Texas,
That's good.
uh,
But then where
Clovis,
did
New
you get to
Mexico.
go?
Yeah. And then I lived in England for 3 years.
Yes, she did. And where are we going
Yeah.
in the fall?
In the fall, we are flying to Dublin, Ireland, taking a trip to Galway, West Ireland, and then we're going to
And bruh.
uh, Edinburgh, and we're going to
Bruh.
visit York, and then
Is
we're
it
going to
bruh or
leave.
bruh?
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Yes, like BRUH.
Like
According to the Scots that I met.
my kid calls me bruh.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Alright.
Hmm.
So Heather moved to England, and while she was there, she encouraged me to come and see her. It was difficult
Hmm.
because, of course, I had kids and a salty, now ex-husband. Then when all the stuff went
Stupid
down,
ex husband.
It was bad. When all the stuff went down, I was not in a place to be doing anything for myself. So now that I'm single and like have my stuff in order, I'm like, Heather, let's go to the UK.
Mhm.
And she's like, okay.
I think the only reason that she's doing this is because I happen to know a lot about the UK, and she's like, "Let me just use this experience.
That is
Let me use
partially
this person."
her education from the Ohio State University is going to help us. No, I would say partially it is that, and partially this is the weirdest thing I will say on this podcast probably ever, but I've been dreaming of these cliffs, and I told
Oh,
you
yeah.
this. Like, and
Yeah.
I started to Google, what are these cliffs in Ireland? Like, what is this? It's the cliffs, and it's more.
More, yeah. Moher, more.
I have been dreaming of the cliffs of Moher, and I'm like, I feel like I need to go there. I don't know why. If I swear to God, if I find like my future husband there, I'm going to like stream it. If you listen to this podcast and you hear that I went there, you'll be like, oh my God. But I've been dreaming about this. So I'm like, I want to go to Ireland. And so we're planning
Yeah,
a
you
trip.
specifically asked, like, "I wanna go see the ocean, I wanna see the cliffs," and you asked, like, "Are we going to see the water?" I'm like, "We're going to Dublin, we're going to Edinburgh, we're going to York. We're not seeing any cliffs."
I want to see
So
water.
we're planning a day trip to Galway so we can go see the cliffs some
Yes,
more,
we are going to just shoot.
which is not there, but it's near there.
Yes, it's going to be fabulous. So
Mm,
we're going to see the cliffs.
yeah.
We're going to go to Edinburgh. See what I did there? I did it.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
job.
I think it's going to be amazing. I would like my one thing is to go to the Cliffs of Moher, but I also want to go to a pub and I want to listen to music.
Which we will do.
And I want to
Yes.
meet a hot Irish man. If you've watched P.S. I Love You, I need that to happen to me. I want a hot Irish man. If you're ever listening to this and you're in Ireland, if this podcast takes off, I want a hot Irish
I
man
feel like you do better like, the Scotch accent, that is
or
so
a
much
Scottish man.
better.
I don't care. Do they
Yeah.
like duel with one another? Do they hate each other? Ireland and
I
Scotland?
mean, nobody duels. I mean, no,
Shed
yes,
faces.
there's a history, but no, they don't necessarily hate each other. I think more of the animosity is between the Irish and the English, the Scottish and the English,
I could see that. Okay, so
everybody in the English.
an Irish man, a Scottish man, an English man,
Mhm.
or let's learn the Italians because they're hot. But Heather, why don't you tell them where we're going before then in September?
Dayton, Ohio.
And why are we going to Dayton, Ohio?
So we started planning a reunion.
We
Am I in Ohio? No. I'm
she
about
means
13,000. No, that's 1,300 miles.
I'm in Russia. By
Yeah,
by we, she means she. Oh, now she's speaking Russian. She started planning this
I
yearbook
didn't mean
reunion.
to. I did
Yes,
not mean to. I was just being because you and John and Sanders, like everybody had
yes.
started, like, oh, a reunion would be great, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm like, okay, fine.
We gave a
Is
mouse a
anybody
cookie.
actually, is anybody interested? Who says a mouse a cookie?
We
Anyway,
gave a mouse a cookie. Have you read the book? If you give a mouse a cookie, he'll
what
ask for a
book?
glass of milk.
No, no.
It's a children's
You know what
book.
the
Oh,
first book I read all the way through was?
no.
Charles Dickens' David Copperfield. Abridged, but still. I was 12.
Mine was
Nerd,
like
I
the
know.
little engine that could. Heather. But no, if you give a mouse a
I'm sure I
cookie,
drove something in
there's a
or
little
read something.
mouse, and it's like if you give a mouse a
Mhm.
cookie, he'll ask for a glass of milk, and if you give him a glass
I
of
mean, it
milk, he'll
makes
ask for a
sense.
napkin. So there's if you
Either
give a moose a
way.
muffin, my whole thing with girls dating, I'm
Moose
gonna
a
give
muffin?
if you give a moose a muffin, if you give a moose a muffin,
Who
he'll ask for a
gives a
glass.
moose a muffin?
I don't give a moose a muffin, but I
Moose
don't.
are deadly creatures. They will kill you, Sarah.
Anyway, we gave the mouse a cookie, but the book, if you give a mouse a cookie, is great for children learning about dating and
Let's backtrack.
girls with like, if you give a mouse a cookie, he's gonna ask for a glass of milk.
Are you saying that's what I am?
No, I'm talking
I
about.
am a nostalgic person.
I'm
I
saying
am a
with
sentimental nostalgic person.
you in the reunion. I gave you a
Well,
cookie, and you're like,
I have moved so many times in my life that I am nostalgic, and I love like the movies, the 90s movies that had the reunions and the 20 year, the 10 year, whatever crap. I always idealize that. I fully admit that I idealize those.
I think we all did
I
though.
I know, but like because of how many times, and I know you've moved a lot, but I've moved a crap ton. And I just really have always loved the idea of having a reunion. I wasn't able to go to the 10th, which apparently wasn't very large anyway, but I wasn't able to go. And so I'm like, okay, well, we'll just have a yearbook reunion because I don't know if a 20th reunion for our college or our high school is happening. So I started asking people, like, is this something you're interested in? Do you want to do this? If so, when? When was the question.
And then
Um,
once she got our yearbook group, so our yearbook group was the seniors of '06, the juniors who graduated in '07. Uh, it was like, when do we want to get together? And then we started to plan our UK trip around that, but we're going to do it a different day. Anyway, she started asking about this. And then Heather decided, let's call the school and ask them if someone's planning
oh,
our
I did that
reunion.
before that.
Oh, I'm
But yeah,
sorry.
either way, timing wise, it was around the same time.
So then, and what conversation, how long before this did we have a conversation of, would you go to our high school reunion? And what was my reaction? I'm pretty sure I
I
said
mean, I've asked you several times since we graduated. I'm like, "Hey, would you go to a graduation?" And you said, no. I'm
to our
fairly certain
reunion.
you used
Yes.
some other language, but
Yes.
she specifically said, "I will never go to our high school reunion. I have no desire to see any of those people again. I don't keep in touch with any of them. I will never go."
Yeah.
So,
Pretty sure I said, over my dead
I
body, would I ever go to our high school reunion? And
I don't remember the specifics. Anyhow,
mhm,
so I started planning our 20th high school reunion.
she did, yes. You know who wasn't planning our 20th high school reunion?
Then I called Sarah, and Sarah, I'm like, I was about to say, like, hey, I don't know why I did this. I'm getting myself into something. And she, before I even said anything, you want me to help with this, with planning? I'm like, actually, yes. I wasn't even going to ask, but yes. So she volunteered. Okay.
I
This is
did.
not me asking her. I did not ask her. She was like, you want me to help? And I
This is
said, yes.
true.
And I started making her the co host on everything.
This is on me, partially.
It is on you. I'm not
Partially.
even asking you to, like, friend people. Like,
No. Ugh.
I am very, I don't mean, no, selective, I guess, with who I'm friends with on social media.
I
I
mean,
just am.
I'm far more selective. I have, like,
Exactly, and you are too.
a
But
ninth of the friends that you have.
I'm apparently friends with, like, half of our senior class.
And
But
mind you, like, I
I
don't hate the people we went to high school with. Heather and I
no,
were kind of outsiders. Like, we had moved, she moved more than I did, but we had moved to kind of many different places. And we went to this high school. It was an
and
affluent,
I floated around.
she did. It was
Yeah,
an
I was
affluent
not affluent.
community. I was not either. And so these kids, a lot of them were handed a lot of things. Whereas we, if we wanted to do something, we had to like fundraise for it, or we had to get scholarships, or so on and so forth. So it was not super easy. I wouldn't say that
Yeah.
I was never bullied in high school. Like, no one in high school was ever mean to me. I mean, one person was, and that's a
No.
whole other story. But like, the girls
Well,
weren't mean in high
you
school.
were liked.
And I
And
didn't
I
realize that because I was so, like, head in the clouds dating a college
yeah.
man that I was like, "Yeah, I'll get out of here soon." My whole high school career, I just kept thinking, "I can't wait to be a journalist and get out of here."
Well, and our school was also I it was mostly affluent, but there was a good chunk of there was a mix
Yeah.
too. Like, I don't want to put everybody into that. We did
No.
not go to a rich high school. We did,
Eh.
however, go to a high school that put out a lot of football players.
Yes, they did.
That then went on to play for Ohio State University and then
Did
in
you
the
just say
NFL.
Ohio State and not The Ohio State University?
I don't say that. Everybody else does. I have grown up saying OSU, but then there's Oklahoma State. Nobody cares about them. Anywho, I don't say the Ohio State. All of my friends do. That's
You're
the
supposed
irony of it.
to. It's a legal term,
No,
Heather.
it is the legal term, but I say Ohio State.
But we
Anywho,
pumped out AJ
uh,
Hawk. AJ Hawk went there. We
AJ
can say
Hawk,
his
Mike
name to
Nugent.
Mike Nugent. I
Yeah,
almost said Ted
they
Nugent. Dude.
no, no, no. But they both graduated. So we went into high school in 2002. They graduated in 2002. Then they went to Ohio State, and then they went to the Green Bay Packers and Jets, respectively. Don't ask me which one went where. I don't remember.
Didn't they then go to the
Um,
Bengals?
no clue.
I think they did.
I don't follow the NFL. I
Are they
don't follow
both single?
college.
I'm
No
pretty
clue.
sure they're married. So, planning this high school reunion, I'm like, I've been helping a friend recently. I'm not going to talk about it on this episode, but eventually I will talk about this. I've been helping a friend through a very tragic situation recently. So there is that. Of course, I did not have to take that on, but she's a great friend of mine. So I wanted to be of assistance. That's happened. Then this motherfucking high school reunion has happened. And I talked to my boss today and he's like, Sarah, you know you can say no. And I was like, I do know that. Thank you.
Okay, but let me just break in here. He doesn't know me. You
No,
can't say no to
I
me.
can't say no to you. Like, I would have a very hard time with that. I just ran into my mic because I've had the gins and the tonics.
But even without the gins and the tonics, you would not be able to say no to me because
I can't.
one, I'm persistent. Two, I never asked you officially. You volunteered.
I did. I
Yeah.
was there's like voluntold and then guilt tripped. I don't know. But you didn't
Except
guilt
I
trip
did
me
neither
either.
of those.
No, but I'm not gonna just leave you
Exactly.
on your own, be like, "Ah," and so Heather is not on Facebook. Like, you didn't even have the Facebook app, right?
I hate Facebook.
Exactly.
I didn't know. I only had it downloaded for a while because I was trying to sell things. Like otherwise I deleted it and I was only going through the browser when I needed to.
So I work in marketing and I have managed many a Facebook page, including Mom Meets Life. Plug for the podcast. Uh, but Heather had to then download the app to have access to this. So we started a
Ugh.
page. She started an event. Like we have all the stuff. The logistics are being worked out. But in the in the invite,
Very clearly, I wrote this very clearly, concisely, and with only the facts. Okay. I wrote how the US military told me to write,
yes,
and it was factual.
normal people say like September 19th, 2026. And she's like 19
19
September.
September. That's the date.
It's like, please feel free to bring your spouse, significant other, or partner. No children.
I want it. Okay. I don't want children there.
And then
No
there's the
offense to
part
people's children. That was concise. Okay. I wrote the
part about the
facts.
allergies. So we are doing this
Okay.
at a restaurant. Apparently, someone we graduated with, who I don't remember him at all. Seeing his pictures, I'm like, I kind of remember him.
I remember him. He owns a restaurant.
He seems
Yeah.
delightful. He owns
He
a
is a very
restaurant
nice person.
kind of
Yeah.
near where we went to school, 20 minutes or so away, and he has offered to let us have it there, and with that, we have to pay a certain amount for, like, this buffet pizza thing,
Hmm.
and Heather writes in the description,
Let's see if you get it right this time because I
"You"
will correct you.
I'm not
Also, keep in mind, I worked in the service industry, bars, restaurants, whatever, for 10 plus years. Okay.
so working in marketing, when I create a Facebook page, it's always "we" language. Everything is it's we" all the way home. We are excited to have this. So Heather is not in marketing, and she writes it as like, "I don't care, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Tell me
I
what
knew,
you wrote
no,
for the
what
allergens."
I wrote was if you have any, like, I don't know, food sensitivities, allergies, whatever, we can handle it with the restaurant, the servers, whatever. Don't tell me.
Don't tell
That's
me.
all I wrote.
Do
Don't
not
tell
tell
me
me
because
is what you wrote.
I I wrote it. Don't tell me because I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to pass on these people's messages
But
about
no
food
one knows
allergies.
who you are because it's coming from our
I
high
know
school
that.
class of
But all it
2006.
says is literally just don't tell me.
Do not tell me.
Don't tell any of the organizers. And that's just common courtesy.
There
I
was such
can't do
a
crap
nice
about it, okay?
PR way to say that, of
And
like,
I am not in PR. That was
she's
the
not.
fact. That
It
was
made
the
me
concise, factual way of saying
I
it.
cackled today at that. So I did change a few things in the invite, and I also put an
She
intro.
made it nicer.
I
I
did.
did put an intro.
You
I
put
said,
date, time,
"You're the
location.
speaker." I put the who, what, where, and when. Okay, I put the facts.
Here's our
I was getting to
reunion,
the point. Why do you say it like I'm a man? I was giving them the
19
facts.
September at 1500 hours. Heather is the co-conspirator of our high school
Co-conspirator,
Heather is the
driving
main
force.
driving force of our high school reunion planning. I am the backup. I'm there for moral support and to make sure we don't sound like dictators.
Writing just the facts. I don't understand why this is so, like, people are too sensitive, okay? I just
They
gave
are.
them the facts
But
of the
we want them to
situation.
come. We don't want to scare them.
I know, but I
No
didn't.
children.
I don't want children there.
I do not want to hear it. Don't tell me. Screw your
And
onion allergy. Okay.
Okay.
We are going to talk about girl friendships. The pseudo friend. This was actually a topic on the Call Her Daddy podcast. I don't know if you listen to that. It's very entertaining. She's amazing. Anyway, she talked about this idea of like the pseudo friend. It's kind of an acquaintance, but a little bit more than an acquaintance. And a pseudo friend is a girlfriend that you may have known for a while, maybe just kind of met. But every now and then you guys get together and you go to dinner or you go for a hike or something. And she talked about how beneficial it is to your mental health and your soul because they don't know everything about you, but they know just enough to like be kind of in the conversation. And I think that's
Mhm.
actually really healthy for females to have kind of this pseudo friend. I have a few of those.
Yeah.
I've had people I've met at church or kind of in passing or a friend of a friend. I'm like, hey, do you want to get dinner? And we just talk about just the basics. And
Mhm.
it's one of those like I can vent about anything and them not judge me or have much of a backstory. Do you have a lot of
Yeah.
those friends?
Yes. Through the military, through the military side, just yeah, I mean, just I think just by nature of having moved so much and worked in so many different places, I have groups of friends that I think probably I wish were more than pseudo friends, but they probably fall into that realm. They know, I mean, they've been for me in the instances and the times that I've needed them, but they're not necessarily there for me all the time. Uh, and yeah, I think it's just natural when you move around so much that you're going to have groups of friends that are not necessarily, they're not meant to be your best friends. They're there for you when you need them and when they need you, and you can count on them to get together when it's convenient for the both of you. But it's not necessarily like they're going to call you anytime they're sad or something like that.
I
Um,
like what you said there. They're
I
not meant to be your best friends, which is because not
Yeah,
everyone can be your best friend.
yeah.
I mean,
I wish that they were. I mean, personally, but it's
I
hard.
I also think there is this glorified sense of friendship that we see on social media
Uh-huh.
and in movies and other things where like
Oh yeah.
every friend that you have is like your super close friend and they're like your besties and they know everything about you, but we really don't talk about the pseudo friend very often.
No, because I think that's a lot of how society is, especially with social media, is you have all of these pseudo friendships, people who think that they know you. Like I had somebody on Instagram that didn't like something I posted, and believed that it was politically against their beliefs. And I told this person, like, hey, you don't know anything about my beliefs or my background or anything like that. Like, this person and I had been friends before we used to work together, but hadn't talked to them in a decade. And they told me that, oh, no, I know all of your background and all of your beliefs because I see what you post on social media, which anybody who truly knows me knows that that is a very far cry from the truth. But I think with social media, people think that they know people better than they do, and so they think that they're closer to people than they are.
That's a very interesting perspective on it.
Yeah, but I think it also then uh, makes people feel more distant from them as well. Like it's a double-edged sword. Like you feel like you know people better, but at the same time, you feel like people don't actually know you
Yeah, I get that.
because they don't.
But I would also say that those people who are saying, "Oh, I see you on Instagram," they aren't calling you to say, like, "Let's go have coffee, let's go have lunch."
No.
Whereas your pseudo friends are
Yeah.
kind of doing that. And I
Hmm.
have I hate to call her a pseudo friend because I don't want her to hear this and be like, "Am I not your friend?" She's a good friend, but
Hmm.
she moved years ago from Knoxville and she recently was back in the area and we actually got coffee this week and it was so nice to reconnect. She's since become a mom, she's a new mom. They're not sure they want to stay in the area and just connecting with her. Like it wasn't anything deep. Like we weren't like, "Oh, let's share our
Yeah.
feelings." And I just smacked my mouth. My mic. It wasn't anything super deep, like, let's share our feelings
Yeah.
and talk and kumbaya and kumbaya and all of this, but
Hmm.
let's talk about life, and it was just one of those nice pseudo friendships, so
Think there are also levels of pseudo friendships
yes.
too. Like she's literally been, in distance from you, So there's only so much closeness you can get. But I think that there are levels and layers of pseudo friends. Like there are some that are just like, if it's convenient for both of you, cool, we'll meet up.
Maybe
And
they're
then
like
there are others like,
the middle of the cake
huh?
layer. I don't know. Do we call them pseudo friends? We call them like I don't know. I think like you're like the top of the wedding cake friends. I think they're like
Yes, I am.
2 or 3 layers down. It's like a 6-layered wedding cake. They're
Well,
on
I think
like
it's
the
it's
4th or
it's
5th.
definitely gonna differ by person. Like,
True.
it depends a lot on each person and how much they are willing to give to that relationship.
Well, I have a total of
Um,
6 friends, so I have 6 layers. Kidding. I have a few more than
but
that.
did you count them?
I don't know. That's probably not completely off.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just it's dependent upon what you're willing to give,
Yes.
what that person's willing to also give. So,
Agreed.
like, and I think there are also waves. Like you'll go through waves of having somebody that is a pseudo friend out of convenience, and then they are your best friend because of, whatever needs you both have. So I don't think it's a cut and dry definition for either. I think that it's is heavily dependent upon circumstances of life, and what you guys are going through and what you're, needing in that time.
And you and I talked about friends for a reason and friends for a season, and sometimes they're both. Like, I think it kind of falls into that category. My former friend group,
Hmm.
they were friends for a season. They were also friends for a reason to teach me this is not what I want in my life, and
No, but they also got you through some times where you needed
they did.
friends.
I give them
And
that.
regardless, yeah, they were there for you.
Absolutely. They
Uh,
were
they
amazing when I brought the magic and I was like, "Oh,
Yes.
let's talk about this."
It was a one-sided friendship.
Huh? Yeah. Which
Yeah.
was tough because 'cause they're like, "Oh, we got you through that." No, you didn't. You were just here while I created the magic. So, all right, the next group we're gonna talk about, girls who talk a big talk. They wanna be connected, but they never do anything for you. So, I have a friend currently going through something horrific. I mentioned this earlier. Very traumatic life event. And there are so many people commenting, "Oh, girly, I love you. I'm here for you if you need anything." Okay, I
Mhm.
started a GoFundMe. Have they donated? No. And not
Yeah.
everyone can donate. I understand that. But there are a lot of girls out there who like the drama. And I had a friend like this who it drove me crazy because one example I can give, there was an accident 2 miles away from her house,
Mhm.
and she posted all over Facebook, "This happened 2 miles from my house. This could have been me. Oh, and this could have been me." I'm like, "Okay." She is one of those girls who, if there's a
Yeah, they
tragedy
make it about
or a
themselves.
trauma, it's, "Oh my god, like, I am so oh, girly, this is my
Yeah.
friend from 2nd
How could
grade.
this have impacted me?
I haven't talked to her in 30 something years, but, like, she's one of the best."
Yeah.
I You can tell my opinion on that. What's your opinion on girls who talk a big talk, who can't fucking walk the walk?
Well, I will say that sometimes the example you gave of, like, my best friends from 2nd grade, even if they haven't talked, like, there are circumstances that may prevent that relationship from continuing, but they do know that that they still support that person. So I will say that there are situations where that is okay. However, I know that that does not apply in this situation. And it's about people, they're trying to make it about themselves, and I don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that.
Or if someone
Um,
dies from, like, high school, thinking of our high school reunion, like, "Oh, I
yeah,
remember talking to his girlfriend's brother's cousin in the
yeah,
hallway," and, like, those are not
yeah,
friends. The let's get coffee friends. These are the women,
and
and maybe
yeah.
there's men like this too. I don't think there's as many men. Maybe if you're a man listening to this or watching, you can chime in. The let's get coffee friends. These are the people who are like, "Hey girl, I saw your status, blah, blah, blah. Let's get coffee sometime." And it never fucking happens. I feel like they just like
Mhm.
they're bots, like they're AI bots out there, and they're never gonna get coffee with you.
They want to seem like they care, but they're not willing to put in the effort, and unfortunately, those are the ones that get me the worst because I want to have these relationships, like, typically, it's like, "Oh, I'd love to catch up. I'd love to meet with these people." but they don't actually mean it. And so that honestly probably gets to me the worst out of any of them, because it's somebody who acts like they care, but then they actually don't.
Agree with that. I think I value authenticity over
Yeah.
fakeness any day. So
Yeah.
if you're busy and you're like, "Hey, I asked you to get coffee, but, like, my kid threw up. I'm not in a good place mentally. I just don't feel like
Mhm.
going anywhere today." Like, I would much prefer that over, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
girl, my my car, like, is having issues today." Like, I would much prefer the
Yeah.
authentic friend. Even if you're never gonna fucking get coffee, I would much prefer the person who's just, like, a hot mess over just the fake person.
Yeah. No,
So
I'm there because, like, I don't know, and I hate to keep going back to, like, I've moved so much, but, like, I feel, one, I am more discerning of my friends, uh, out of necessity. And this is just me about me. I'm not comparing me to you or anything like that. I'm discerning in my friendships. I put a lot of effort into my friendships. So it hurts me more when that effort is not reciprocated. Um, and it's just one sided. I can't, that hurts me more than, uh, not even putting in the effort. Because if you give me like the hope of saying, "Oh, yeah, no, I'd love to. Let's do that." And then it never materializes because there's no follow through or there's no effort put on your part. Like that to me just it comes off to me as like you really don't care, like even more so than just not even responding. Like you don't care enough to even respond.
yeah, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
It just is.
Mhm.
With the people who don't respond, I do think
Mhm.
there are my least favorite type of friend is the one-sided friend. So I think that
Yeah.
there are people that don't respond, they don't reach out to do things, but then there are also people who like suck onto you like leeches and they want to be your friend. I had a group like that. I'm sorry to compare them to leeches, but I had a group, but they didn't realize they were doing that. I didn't realize they were doing that. Anything I gave, they're like, yes, please
Yeah.
give it to us. Let me suckle the teat of your friendship. And that's a horrible example. I've had a lot. It's the
Yeah.
gins and tonics and the Ohio State University. They would suckle on the
Jealousy.
teat of the giving tree and they would love it.
Mhm.
But if I needed anything, one time I texted my group chat and I was like, hey guys, my air is having issues. And it was just, sorry, we're busy today.
Silence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, do you know anyone here? Like, you were born and raised here. Do you know anyone that
Yeah.
could help? It was just silent. So I think as bad as the, like, let's get coffee friends, the ones who pretend to
Mhm.
be your friend when it's convenient for
Yeah.
them are the worst types of girlfriends. Just the worst.
Yeah.
Well, there's
I
actually
can see
worse.
that.
Worst. Worst. I can talk.
Worse.
It's the gins and tonics, Heather. Uh,
Oh, I know.
my least favorite type of female friendship, or females in general, are the pick me girls. And the girls who are in competition with you at all times. And
Yeah. And
almost like the covert ones, the ones who are, like,
mhm.
obnoxiously like, I don't see you or myself ever being friends with a girl who is, like, an overtly out there pick me girl. But the covert ones who it's like it's undercover ops of, like, she seems really cool, but deep down, she's
Yeah.
always in competition with you, and she's always pick me, and, "Yeah, I did that."
Mhm.
I can't stand
Yeah. No, I get that. And I understand. Like I've had experiences and I think these people fall in the same category of like we had a group chat with our neighborhood, just all of the neighbors in there like females, males, whatever.
Heather, you're showing your age.
Did I?
You
How did I do that?
by saying you're in a group chat with your neighbor, you're showing your
Well,
age.
it's I lived on base,
I'm
okay?
74 years old.
Uh I am 73, thank you.
Yeah,
It was a
great.
group it wasn't even a group, it was a group of our neighbors,
Okay.
okay? So that we could ask like, "Hey, if you need anything, it's here," or like, we're having a like a street event, whatever.
We have a porch demon.
There Yeah, sure. There were a couple people, and I say a couple, there was one person that would be like, "Hey, is anybody's husband available to help me with this?"
I
And a
remember you
couple of
telling me about this.
times, yeah, I would come
Ew.
in back, "Why do you need a husband? We have a lot of strong females here." And it was just to get something out of her car, I think. I wasn't home, so I couldn't help. But like, why do you need a husband for that?
She would have
And
been
I
my
think she said
ex-husband's
something.
best friend. She would have been like, "Can I sleep in your guest room? Have sex with your husband?"
I think she said something about like needing a strong man or something like that. But like, dude, really? Like, one, there are military women on the street, like because we are living on base. There are strong women on this street. Like, it has nothing to do with gender. There is no reason you need to ask for somebody's husband to help you with this. And I have always hated that. I'm like, you there women in particular who say things that essentially like, I need a man to do this because I'm just a female.
Yeah.
Yes, there are things like men can be physically stronger than women. I will never admit that to a man because they're full of crap. But
We will
I get that
if
to an
any man hears
extent.
that, pretend that will hypnotize you to
I
pretend it
will I will further deny it. But
was a deep fake.
I I do not think that there is anything that needs a male. Like, I mean, in terms of like that can't be done by a female. Like, there's no reason for you to ask for somebody's
Especially
husband,
to
or
ask
I don't even care about
specifically.
somebody's husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're asking for a male, like, hey, I need a guy to help me with this. Why? The only thing I can think of is, does he need to fertilize an egg? I get that. If that's what you're asking, cool. I got you. I will, allow you to ask that question. But if you're just asking because of sheer strength, perceived sheer strength, because you need something like taken out of your no, no, that's sexist.
Well, I will say none of
And
my female friends have been strong enough to help me move certain things, but
have you asked me?
well, you don't live here, Heather. I would 100%
I
ask you.
know. I also have a lot of ailments, so who
But my
knows? But
parents
the
also
point
live in my
is,
neighborhood, so my dad's like, "I'll do it." I'm like, "Okay."
yeah. But there's no I get it, like, taking advantage of people who are offering to help, but,
Yeah.
like, there is no reason to go into a group of mixed gender people and say, like, "Hey, I only want a male to respond to this because I
Yeah.
need their help."
I think those women, they're all pick me girls. Like every single and they're one uppers for everything. I've
Yeah.
never seen an instance where there's a woman like how you're describing who's also not a pick me. I'm a one upper. Everything you tell me, I've
Yeah.
done better. Anything you can do, I can do
Yeah.
better kind of person.
Yeah. I know some other people like that, and I'm not gonna get into specifics because 'cause I'll get in trouble, but, yeah, they're like, you can't give any portion of your own story because that the other person is like, "Oh, yeah, no, I've had it so much worse."
There is
Like,
a
it's not a competition,
I
people.
have heard there's a psychological term. I
Mhm,
think it's from TikTok, so don't quote me on it. But I have heard there's a method of hearing trauma and then trying to
mhm.
share your trauma to like get to know them. But I know that there is a difference between sharing a story and being
Yeah.
like, oh, it's one thing to be like, hey, my grandma died. I had a really hard time with it. Oh, I know when my stepmom died, it was really hard too. This
Mhm.
is how I got through it.
Yeah.
Hey, my grandma died. Oh, well, when I was 16 years old, my grandma
Yeah.
died, and then they put stuff up my butt. It's a complete different sorry, it's the gins and tonics and the Ohio
Moving
State
on
University.
from that,
There are
you're
people
gonna
like
get
that.
copyright infringement.
I don't care.
Yeah, no, there
I
is
swear to
because,
God, if
like,
the Ohio State University sues me, that is it.
I fully support
You
it.
let the
Anywho,
Unabomber go to your who was it?
no, God, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. I almost said Ed Gein.
Anyhow,
Anyway,
yes, there is a very large difference between the commiseration and the one upping, because I think it's also an ADHD thing. Like, and I know I've been guilty of this. You hear a story and then you tell your own. And in my experience, and I'm only speaking from my experience, I am trying to connect with that person and be
yes.
like, "Oh, you've had this. I also have had this. I know how to
Yes.
to empathize with you." And I know it doesn't always come across like that.
No,
And I
I
am
think when you're
aware,
an
but
authentic person, it does though. I think there is a difference. Authentic
uh,
people, you're just talking. Like you're not or you're either trying to connect with them on a humanistic level or you're ADHD and you're just like, squirrel.
Or both.
So the
I
people who
mean,
do
yes.
this are not in their squirrel era. They are, I
Yeah.
am here to tell you something that is going to make your story sound like shit because
Yeah.
I'm a one upper.
Yes.
Okay. Like, what do you do with, you can't have a relationship with someone like that. You can't be like, oh, well, oh, that's cool. Unless I think for
Yeah.
people like them, they need someone who just feels less than and they like people with low
Yeah.
self esteem because I don't have low self esteem. If a girl talks like that, I'm like, all right. Like, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Whereas someone with low self esteem would be like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and I can see that because they want somebody to sycophant behavior. They want somebody to suck up to like to envy them.
What word did you use?
Sycophant.
The Ohio State University friends. Final group is the pickup where we've left off girlfriend group or girlfriend. Doesn't have to be a
Okay.
group.
Yeah.
Heather and I are these people. These people
Yeah.
are the most authentic women. They are, hey, life sucks. I'm not going to be around for a little bit. Like they didn't die. They're just having a hard time.
I'm gonna
Or they had a
move to
kid.
a foreign country.
They moved to a foreign country. Their husband decided to fuck his coworker. I don't know what it is. Like there are things that happen and they're like, "Hey, I'm not doing okay." But these people will always pick up where they left off. And Heather and I have known each other forever. More than half our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter where life has taken
Jeez.
us,
Yeah.
I especially have fallen off the grid with having kids. I will use that as an excuse. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult sometimes. Heather moved to England. She still kept in touch. I think when my divorce happened, Heather was like, "I'm here, dum dum. Like
Yeah.
I've been here. Look at
I
me."
think we did go through a period before that where we hadn't really talked for a minute.
Yeah, it had been a while,
Yeah,
but we were
probably.
still like there. Like I always knew you were there. It wasn't like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that bitch hasn't talked to me." It was like, "Oh, we're just living our
No.
lives." So
Yeah.
I love the pickup where we've left off friend because no matter
Mm-hmm.
how much time has passed, it's like, okay, well, let's do this. Like
Yeah. It's a genuine friendship.
it is. And if life gets really hard, that person is just there. Like there is no doubt in my mind that if something horrific happened tomorrow, like you wouldn't be here the next day. You would be. You'd be like,
No,
okay,
because I already I offered to fly out there.
you
I
did.
have offered to fly you out here.
She has. I have mentioned this on a previous episode, but I had like a complete mental breakdown when I broke up with my friend group. And it was Heather is the friend that I mentioned in the podcast that in that episode that was like, what do you need? Every one of my good friends that was close to me that should have been there was like, that bitch was mean to me that night. That fuck her. She said these mean things. What a bitch. Let's gossip about her. Whereas Heather was like, what do you need? Sorry. I've gone off the
No, you're
rails.
good.
Whereas Heather was like,
I
what the fuck happened? What do you need? What's our plan? We have like
hmm
today, what are we doing today? All right, have you gotten out of bed
I think
today?
I know. I think I offered to fly out actually at
She
that point.
100% did. And Heather wasn't even here.
No, I was not here, but I didn't want to just like inundate you, so I did offer rather than
And you
just
did it
do
in the
it.
best way. And you know what? I'm going to be a bitch and say this. My other friend lives 11 houses that way and couldn't even fucking show up. They had to go get drunk
I'm
on
just
mimosas that day because that's what's important in life is getting drunk on
I'm just
mimosas.
a really I'm a really good person.
You are. It's because you went to the Ohio State University. I'm going to bring that up
That is
every
just
time.
one of my good qualities.
That's why our friendship is awesome because the pick up where you left off friend, when you and I talk, we talk about life, we talk about partners, dogs, cats, travel, work,
High school.
high school, the Ohio State University,
No, we don't talk about Ohio State.
and life is wonderful. And that is what female friendship should be like. I think that and male friendships, of course, but we're both women talking, so I'm not going to speak to men and mansplain to them how to be men.
I mean, probably should though.
No, I've been mansplained so many things. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, do you know
Yeah.
about crypto? Anyway, I think female
Do you
friendships.
know what a penis does?
What this is a thing. It's a fleshy meat stick that impregnates you.
That's gross.
It is
That's
gross.
gross. They don't even know how it
They
works.
don't. They're so stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but they are. There are smart men out there, and I don't mean to just
Yeah.
man hate, but God, the men I've met, female friendships can last through the ages. You should support one another. You should be there for each other.
Mhm.
No matter where you are in this life, if you've had friends who have been with you all along, if you have new friends in newer chapters of your life, it's a wonderful thing. If you have lost friends along the way because they're assholes, let them go. To my friends that I've lost along the way, I don't have anything to say. I was going to say good riddance. Heather, why don't you say something?
Friends are in your life for the extent to which they need to be. Sometimes you need them for that period of your life. Sometimes they need you for that period of life.
And sometimes they need to be run over by a bus.
I think we have our friends for a reason. Some don't stay in your life, and I've tried to keep people in my life more, probably more than I should. Uh, but I think we have them for the length of time we need them, or vice versa, they need us. Um, and then we have friends that we just kind of guilt into going to a high school reunion when they told you for the 20 years in between that they would never set foot in that area again.
To end this episode, normally it's going to be me ending it and being like, oh, we had a great time with our guest, but Heather's here. We've been talking forever. She's going to end it with me. So before I get to asking her this question, I would like to thank you for listening to another episode of Mom Meets Life. Next week will be delayed a little bit because I'm going to San Antonio, like I mentioned previously. So before we end, I will ask any guest of mine to plug something personal or a charitable cause. Nothing tooting their own horn or being a pick me girl kind of thing. But Heather, do you have a charitable cause you would like to plug before the end of this episode?
Indeed, I do.
Yay.
A friend of mine runs a charity. It's in the UK, but this person is American, and it's aimed at helping get foster dogs or dogs, animals that need homes, aligned with owners. So it is a method for the charities, or the shelters, the adoption facilities to coordinate and to make inroads and connections with prospective owners and future homes. So or samstail underscore co.uk is named after my friend's first dog named Samantha. He started this charity in her honor, but he is working tirelessly to try and raise money and get it so that he can connect more animals with their forever home. And two of my dogs are famous because he has put them on his website with their stories. So everybody can go and see the adorable angels that my children are.
That was excellent. The only
Yeah.
thing I would
Thank you.
criticize of you is that you did not say forever. Join us next time on Mom Meets Life, and we'll see you shortly.